everybody. Starting off with sad news. We mourn the loss of Nepletu. My dear Neppy Poo has been taken probably by a bobcat or a hawk and has not been home in a week. My poor little baby. We didn't really know what happened to him. Put up a trail cam, and we have had a huge hawk and a huge bobcat spending a lot of time around our barn. So we're putting two and two together and thinking probably that's one of the things that happened. So my poor little Neppy Poo is no longer with me. I'm going to miss him. He was my little shadow. I do have a cat that has snuck in to try to take his place, apparently. This happens when you live in BFE. And, well, I'll just show you a little clip. And I'm afraid if I get to like him, he won't be around here very long. So I'm going to name him appropriately. I have a new cat. Decided to name him Soleimani because he's not going to be around here very long. Okay, so let's talk about some hot topics. That certainly couldn't get us in trouble with YouTube, could it? So, I'm having a hard time trying to process what the United States is doing as a country right now. Pretty much, I agree with this meme completely. Perhaps if we make knowledge look as playful and creative and addictive as an app, people might start putting things between their ears again instead of other places. Yep. But it's not just knowledge. Sometimes it's behavior. And I know we all have people that love us for who we are and hate us for who we are, and that line can be very thin and narrow sometimes. But when you start to break off into tribes in a country, it's self-defeating. The more tribes you have, with a smaller number, with the more need to access the other tribes for help, the better your society will be. But when your tribe really goes down to one or two big tribes, it turns into a free-for-all to see who is going to be king of the hill. I don't know who's needing to capture the flag, but can we get it over with? I'm kind of tired of this already. So when I used to deal with youth in state's custody that had addiction and behavioral issues, I would often say, when behavior starts to go south, look at what you're doing. Where are you devoting your time? Where is your mindset? What are you thinking about the most? What is most important to you at that time? In that little snapshot of your life, you're going to find what you're embracing that is probably leading to your behavior. So let's just look at possibly these protests that have been going on. Air quotes are such handy dandy things. And I want us to look specifically at the black blocking side that shows up in all black clothing, that plays music all the time. What kind of music do they play? Well, you wouldn't go singing at your grandma's Southern Baptist Church. We're just going to say that. No, you're going to hell. No, you wouldn't sing it in front of very many people at all. It's very mean, aggressive, violent. I mean, it just appreciates human value all the way around. I can't, and these people that are listening to it think it is emboldening and making them, you know, have more strength and more power. But really, the people that hear it, that understand what is being said and understand the mantra and understand the lies that are being swallowed within the music, they look at that crowd and they go, how can you be that ignorant? And so it really does the reverse. So what they're doing as a psychological ploy fails completely. So can we stop that? Can somebody let them in on that? It doesn't work. But I will say that music does have a big responsibility in how our youth are behaving today. And I used to take a vote. When I got new kids in and I would have a new class of about 12 to 13, we would do a vote. We would say, what do you think is the biggest influencer in your life? Your parents, your nuclear family unit altogether, your parents, your grandparents, people within your community that have been role models to you, your friends, or yourself. Now, most of those kids would choose myself. And I would be like, that's not the real thing. Let's talk about this. Why do you think that you are your biggest influencer? Well, because I choose what I do with my time. Well, how's that working out for you? Because you're spending 12 hours a week with me. And then they go, oh. And I go, so what are some of the things you do with your own time? Well, we like to listen to music. Oh, what kind of music do you listen to? And what they didn't know is I had like profiled 25 of the top songs, and one of my favorite back in the day was Jasmine Sullivan's Bust the Windows Out Your Car. And everybody's like, oh yeah, it's such an awesome song, she's getting her revenge, she's making him pay. And I was like, do you know that there's over 38 charges in that song? That song basically tells you it's okay to do this. You can seek revenge, you can try to humiliate and physically harm other people and damage their property. But who's going to go to jail over that? It's not them, it's you. So, who's pulling you by the nose? And they go, really? So we go through the song. Go through the song. Jasmine Sullivan. Bust the windows out your car. There are 38 charges in there. Do your detective work. Start to look. Some of them are felonies, some of them are misdemeanors. There are 38 of them in there. It took me like a whole week to do that song because it depressed me so much when I did. I thought, this is what our kids are listening to. And then when I listen to the protesters' music, I see the same thing. I see the same mindset. I see the same people thinking that they're using this to intimidate their opponent. It's not working because their opponent's like, do you not understand what you're listening to? How absolute is just depravity. Lord have mercy. They don't. And herein lies the conundrum. So if you've been anywhere on the internet this week, you have witnessed Cardi B and Candace Owens have an all-out girl fight. And it was interesting. I sometimes don't really care for how Candace gets because she gets very talking downing at you, and I don't like that. I like that she stands up for herself and I like what she has to say, but sometimes the way she says it in the context, it's kind of like snooty snoot, 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 snoot. But then I absolutely agree with her on this entire Cardi B issue. There is no reason that a previous vice president and a presidential nominee should be having an interview by a rap artist that has no political knowledge whatsoever. She can't even say the word politics. Of course, I can't roll my R's and do that little funny thing she does, but I think that mine is more of a skill needed in spoken language than hers. I would hope. Have we gotten that far? Oh, God, we have. Well, I'm not going to be communicating in a few years because I just can't do those things. But I watched this and I thought, what in the crap? I went and I had never listened to the song, so I wouldn't listen to the song. Now, I have a 21-year-old daughter. I will slap the sound out of her head for 3 days so she won't sing that song. If she's listening to that song, oh, there is nothing empowering about that song. That is so demeaning. That is classifying you as useful for one thing and one thing only. Of course, Cardi would probably know. She used to sell it to get men dope so she could rob them. Who in the holy hey higher delegation do we think this woman is? Who does she think she is? I mean, what in the pumpernickel Pepperidge Farm bread does she think she's doing? She thinks this is cool. She thinks this is how you communicate. She thinks this is how you intimidate. She thinks this is how you become a social predator. Someone with power and dominance, and you make the other submissive because you have functioning genitalia. Sorry, Cardi, but I'm pretty sure about 99.3% of the world is right there with you. And if not, they make a pill for that. They make a pill for everything. That makes me miss Walter Bremer. I'm sorry. Now I have the desire to say diabetes. I'm sorry. I don't understand why we are allowing celebrities to make a mockery of our nation. And I don't understand why people on the left are okay with this. Because if Trump had been interrogated by Justin Bieber or Eminem or Jay-Z, I would have been like, no thank you. Do you think you speak for me to ask this? No. You don't understand how the political climate works. You live in a bubble where everything's unicorn farts and candy floss. You walk away. I need somebody with a functioning brain and less than a 6-figure income. Hello? We need a representative that is closer to us. At least someone that has the wherewithal to ask questions that have answers that the public needs to hear. That understands that if you want free health care and free college, you can't also lower taxes. There's this balance you have to strike. Someone that understands that having a butt ton of followers does not equate into having the power of the nation. And I don't care how W your P is, Cardi B. There's a lot of letters in that. We as a nation aren't ready to get the dinghy out and go rowing just yet. I don't know any other way to say that. We don't want you in this climate because we don't want to have to deal with you in this climate because you look like a fool in this climate and you make us want to absolutely strangle people, and it's not good. And I want Cardi B and Cardi B fans to understand that I don't care if you listen to her music, I don't care if you enjoy her music, but I do care if you sing it out loud at the grocery store in front of juvenile children, if you try to share people that are minors, especially adults, taping minors to place it on YouTube to do that God-forbidden dance. There are more important things in life than to throw yourself at all the hormonal inadequacies you're going to have for your entire life. You know something? There's going to be enough of crap around that topic for you to worry about from the time that you're 15 to 45, 55. I don't know, I'm not that old yet. I'll let you know when I get there. You should not also be mixing and misconstruing that with your political knowledge, that with your societal knowledge, that with even your education. You shouldn't downgrade yourself enough to where people think that that's all that you know, that that's all that you embrace, that that's all that you think is wise and worth remembering. How many people can start to name off the periodic table of elements? No? How many people know the genus and species of the trees in their own backyard? No. How many people can name the plant life and the fauna in their own local forest? No. But you can recite all the words to WAP. Well, aren't you just a genius? A depraved and morally failed genius. You know, there's something to be said about what you do and where you put your energy in life, because it will shape you and it will create who you're going to be and how you're going to be received. And the last thing I want people to think about when I walk through a door is anything that is covered by any article of clothing I may have on. As I told a neighbor who was having a domestic beside my house with her husband one day, take it inside. And when she sassed me, I said, honey, let me tell you why you're having problems with your man. Because y'all had to get married because you got pregnant, because you were doing things that you shouldn't have been doing at the age you were doing them at. And if you had taken half the time to put things between your ears, as you had to put things between your legs, neither one of us would have to be having this conversation at my fence line and have me be beat red for the words that my kids just heard come out of your mouth. Move it. We've had no more domestics. But it's sad to think that society is so free and fluid with this type of topic. Especially now since Netflix has published that one show. And let me tell you what, this weekend I will be finding time to stop my Netflix subscription. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all crossed the line with me. It ain't happening. I can't believe that people actually watch it just so they can. I'm not even going to watch it. I don't think it's worth watching. I don't think there's anything in there I need to see. I can look at the rating and that it has juveniles in it and know that that is incompatible. Not going to happen. But that's okay, because, you know, they just made pedophilia okay in California, and Cardi B is talking to the whole world and the presidential nominee about her WAP. God almighty, America. Somebody needs to break out the fly swat. If America had visited my granny, she'd done cut a switch and beat the tarnation out of everyone in it. Now, I'm just kind of over this. I'm kind of done with it. I want to have something positive to talk about. So I'm going to leave you with some cute memes. And I thought I might share with you one way that you can absolutely always suck up to me or trick me or lure me in is with my music that I like. I am a huge Queen fan. Now, there are a couple of Queen songs that I don't care for, and if I had met Freddie Mercury, I'd have been like, really, Fred? You were what? You were thinking about what? What were you thinking about? That was necessary? Really? And I would have told him that straight to his face. There's a lot of songs that have great messages, and if there's one song that I think that you all would really get a kick out of listening to, it's a song that kind of set my belief for how my life should go, and it is called Is This the World That We Created? And I believe the only rendition is live at Wembley, so I'll try to put the link in the description box for you so that you can check that out. But here's a little meme that pretty much sums up me. And on that note, everybody have a great weekend, and maybe, just maybe, the husband will let me video him doing some fur work this weekend to share with you all. Please say a prayer for Nepletu this weekend. I'm going to miss my little baby boy. And let's see how long this new cat lasts. Just watch for hawks, or bobcats, or drones. You never know. And I almost forgot. MommaLiz, out!